Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-orders video covering all of the new releases for Forge World and Games Workshop. Apologies that I couldn't make the video last weekend. I was pretty ill. I got horrible chest infection. I won't go into the details, but I've been fully cleansed by a rejuvenate adept, so I feel confident that my ailments won't return anytime soon. Also, I've been blessed a few times and I've recited the holy litanies of the Emperor himself. I'm quite confident that I can make it through this video without coughing too much, but if you see a few edits, then that's probably the reason why. I've just had a massive coughing fit. So I want to say a huge welcome and thank you to everyone who is new to the channel and also you long time viewers and subscribers, and a big thank you to all of the Patreons. It really does help me out. I'm a small channel, so even like $1 a month helps me continue to make the daily content and try and cover every single release I can, even for armies that I wouldn't normally buy. So I just want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. I want to continue doing daily videos throughout March and April. So let's go straight on to the news. Wow, has the news changed? Look at this. We've got this funky kind of embers, flame embers, rising up from the bottom. Shadowspear should be up for a pre-order today. I'm doing the video a little bit before the pre-order comes online. I know that's a bit risky, but so there's been so much news from say like 2 weeks ago or so. If we go back to kind of like the end of February, there was the Necromunda Amble versus Ambot. They were up for pre-order last weekend. They look really decent. I think the price is alright too. I think they're like £25 or so, which isn't too bad. £12 each model. That's not too bad at all. If they had rules for 40k, like straight away out of the box, there's no doubt I'd probably just get them. But because they're just Necromunda only, then I've kind of held back from them. So there's the Ambots that were pre-ordered last weekend. Then there's been a big look at Vigilus all of this last 2 weeks. Shadowspear, this was the first kind of look at some of the models, some of the early models, specifically the Possessed and the Soul Flayer. There was final pictures of the Demon Engine. Pre-order last week was Elfhelm, and then again they've been dropping these articles throughout the past week or so of the Vanguard in the Shadowspear box set. We'll be looking at the pre-order for the Shadowspear later on in this video, and I'll be breaking it down because you do get quite a few duplicates. They are monopose miniatures, and the price is quite high, I think, in a few countries, compared to, say, something like the Dark Imperium. But I'll be going through the reasons why and things much more in depth later on in the video. So there was this first of the Vanguard, which is this Captain Acheron. Acheron? Anyway, there was a little look at him. Black Library, Tales of Crusade and Heresy. There was Sons of the Emperor, an anthology, bigger than I thought it would be. It's definitely, when I think of anthology, I think of Scions of the Emperor, which is clearly, a lot smaller. But these are big stories in here, and I'm looking forward to getting that at some point, because I really did enjoy Scions of the Emperor, despite it being pretty expensive. Last weekend, obviously, they said that you could pre-order Shadowspear this weekend. This is the contents. Again, we'll be looking at this more in depth later on. I do like the suppressors a lot. With the Vanguard themselves, not a huge fan. I like the dude tossing a grenade. I don't know, they just seem very Reaver-ish. But the Chaos models, I absolutely love all the Chaos models. Especially this dude here with this autocannon with a blade on the front, brilliant. But yeah, as you can see, there's the Possessed and the Obliterators, massive things. And if we just go down, and then you get a couple of codexes, kind of like mini codexes. It's not just like the data sheets like you got in Blackstone Fortress. They do have some background and some nice pictures, so it's probably in the similar kind of vein as Tooth and Claw and Wake the Dead. So you get those, you get 2 mini codexes, and you get the Shadowspear kind of main book and some core rules. Would have been nice to get a nice thick hardback book in there, possibly, but oh well. Anyway, moving up, they then had it unboxed. Well, pictures of it being unboxed. Then they had a look at the Vanguard units. Some pictures of them there. And a little bit about suppressors and the eliminators and the lieutenants. So yeah, more lieutenants coming our way. Abbadon was revealed on the 5th, which was sort of 4 days ago. Absolutely stunning model. I've seen a couple, like 1 or 2 comments about how similar he looks to Rabute Gilliman. He looks less similar to Rabute Gilliman than all of your Space Marines in your armies that look identical, in my opinion. He's got Horus's Talon, he's got the Dracnian sword, he's standing on a Primaris. Yes, he's got a little torch, it's quite a thick torch. He's got some scenery that's crumpled behind him, he's got a load of skulls and even a Tyrannid skull on there. He's so far removed from Rabute Gilliman, it's unbelievable. What other pose could they have done him in other than a similar kind of pose that he was in before, and also kind of like a Horus pose in a way, rather than a kind of Angron running pose or a stoic pose like Lorgar, or a perched on a plinth pose like Conrad. I mean, this is iconic. And the paint jobs that are going to come out of this from the community, I'm so looking forward to. I don't know how much he's going to be. I think he'll probably be, I want to say £30, maybe £25 to £30 possibly. Then you've got Vigilus Ablaze, which is number 2, the second book, which will clearly have his rules in and probably some other data sheets. This guy looks pretty hench. Is that an onslaught cannon? Like a portable one? Kind of looks like it. So yeah, that was the big news this week. The Shadowspear finally being revealed, and Abbadon. They gave you a bit of a story so far, which is quite useful if you just want to get up to date. You had some Demonkin rules. So they had a focus on the Vanguard rules and then the Demonkin. Really do like the flesh metal guns. And the excruciator cannons, which are really small and tiny. For 36-inch range, strength +2 and an AP -2 and damage D3, it's pretty good actually. Considering they're kind of small barreled weapons, that's going to really surprise your opponent, I think. Then you've got your Master of Possession, and so on. There's a look at the Vanguard rules a couple of days ago. With being concealed, they've also got these smoke grenades, the sniper rifle guys, the elite, the eliminators. That's kind of like the death of the scouts. They've got, for some reason, 3 ridiculous sets of ammunition. I wonder if you had Death Watch versions of them, they'd have like 7 versions of the ammunition. That would be crazy, the amount of ammunition they have to carry around with them. Suppressors look pretty cool. I would like to see them with some kind of big plasma weapon or las cannon. And then there's a focus on the Phobos armour, the Lieutenant in Phobos armour. Finally, I get my, 10th Lieutenant, and then there's another Captain. Yay, finally a new Captain in Phobos armour. So this Phobos armour is basically, looks a lot like your Maximus armour, but it looks like it's got kind of the black mesh in the belly area, and it doesn't have a full kind of shoulder polder on the right side, and the legs look a little bit different. I need to have a look at a focus on the Phobos armour. Hopefully it'll be in the next book. And then the Librarian and Phobos armour. There's some new models for the Nurgle team. We're going to have a look at that very shortly. And then expanding your forces for match play. So this just gives you kind of detachments of where you can put your units from the Shadowspear box into an existing army. It's quite odd, this one, because you only get 2 possessed. Explains how you would use them in the game as well. And the Vanguard Space Marine one, this is pretty cool. This is like kind of like a stealthy, sneaky scout kind of full army. And then you've got some support in the form of land speeders as well, but severely lacking in the heavy weaponry there. That's going to be a bit of a glass sword. But it's nice that Games Workshop have done that, and I want to see more of that in the future, definitely. Right, that's enough about the news. I'm sorry I've had to cover kind of 2 weeks worth into those minutes. But let's jump on over to Forge World, and here we have, I say Lord of the Rings, here we have, Lord of the Rings from last week, Elfheim, Captain of Rohan, foot and mounted for £25, that's not too bad. And then we've got Ride for Ruin and the World's Ending, that just had those in with a load of other miniatures. But this is what we've got right here, the Blood Bowl Nurgle Rotspawn. So we'll have a look at him here. He's £20. I'm not sure sort of how big he is. He looks a fair bit bigger than your normal kind of size Blood Bowl team, so it's not too bad for £20 actually. That's typically how much these kind of characters cost. He looks pretty decent though. Maybe you could use them as a Chaos Spawn. Maybe. I don't know. The armor pieces look like you can't put them on. It looks like they are already kind of molded on. Well, that one is anyway, and that arm's probably you glue on. So that's going to be quite tricky if you want to do it that way. But the armor kind of, sort of works if you wanted to have them as a Chaos Spawn. And then you've got Nurgle Rotters, Unleash the Rot. So you've just got the plastic miniatures there. And then you've got the Rotspawn as well, all for £40. So that was everything on Forge World. Hopefully next week we'll get Sanguinius. No, who knows what we'll get next week. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's jump over to Games Workshop's pre-orders for today. I did actually record this part of the video earlier on. It's about 16 minutes, and when I went to save it, it wouldn't save. So this is kind of like... Oh, it's so frustrating when that happens when you're a video editor and stuff. The past sort of 16 minutes worth of work is just gone, and you can't replicate it because it's my kind of initial impressions, my reviews. There's bits and pieces of what I've said that I won't be able to repeat as well, but I'm going to give it my best. So this is kind of like the second take. So on Games Workshop's website today, there's the Shadowspear. That is the main product up for pre-order. If we just click on here, we go there. It's still up for pre-order, so it hasn't sold out, and I'm recording this now at 11:40. Yeah, 6 Vanguard Marines and 5 for the Demonkin units. So they're really, really cool. Look, there's the captain. It's a bit, it's still readable, I suppose. Clearly you get it in much better resolution when you get the cards. And then there's the Master of Possession. I really like the backs of them too, but you get them free. Look, free data cards. They should have been included in the box. It's ridiculous. They obviously made them, and they made them available for, this pre-order. But come on. We're at the stage now where, something that should have been in a box, they're just saying, hey, order from us and you'll get them for free. No, Games Workshop, I'm not falling for that. You should have had them in the box. It's ridiculous. It's a £105 box set. Speaking of which, here it is. They're trolling you a little bit because they've got the Dark Imperium collection as well as Shadowspear, which if we just have a look at that, that is £95 for the Dark Imperium set. And let's just have a look at what you get for the Dark Imperium. Look at this. Look at all those miniatures. It says 88 miniatures, and we already know from Shadowspear, don't we, that Shadowspear has 35. So you're getting 53 miniatures in the Dark Imperium. Let's be honest though, it does have 20 Poxwalkers, but it does have a nice selection of Death Guard, the Bloat Drone, 2 squads of Intercessors, and then a Hellblasters, and then a lovely Lieutenant and Ancient and all the rest of it. Also you get the massive £25-30 hardback rule book in there, which is awesome. But yeah, you can get that and the Shadowspear box set, which includes this many miniatures, includes the 35 miniatures, but there are some bigger sort of minis in there. Anyway, this is the set itself. It's going to be quite a detailed breakdown of this set. So obviously you get 35 single monopose miniatures, so not really much customization in terms of spare parts and different weapons, which is a bit of a shame. It's £105 for a set that has monopose miniatures with 3 24-page softback books is quite pricey. Yes, you're saving the money from if you buy them separately, but you can't buy them separately anyway. There's no choice of buying any of these models separate at the moment, it being, you know, March. I think they will sell a few of these in sets, in boxes, later on, and I think there will be other weapon variants as well, definitely. It kind of reminds me of Dark Imperium version 2, where they'll release bigger kits with more options further down the line, which is a good thing. Let's have a look at the Primaris Space Marines first of all. So one thing I said in the first cut of this is you've got a lot of duplicates here. These two suppressors at the back are exactly the same poses, positions. Their head is just moved slightly differently. The Sergeant, or whatever you want to call him, he is completely different though. The Eliminators, these 3 sniper guys, 2 of them are exactly the same models, but one's just got a hood and a helmet on and the other one's just hasn't. But the Sergeant guy, he's unique. And then you've got about 1, 2, 3 models that are duplicates. Look, those 2 holding the pistols, these 2 holding the rifles. So 1, 2, and then these 2 here, 3, 4, 5. 5 models are duplicates. Because this guy and this guy here, I think other than the leg position, they've got more going on with the positions of the gun, and they've got something on the wrist, and also there's a grenade missing there that is present on that model. So there's more. I say they're not as similar, not as duplicate as the rest of these Vanguard. Of course, then you've got the other sergeant, the lieutenant, the guy tossing a grenade, the captain, and the librarian. They're all pretty unique. It's a shame that you're getting these many duplicates in this set. I would have liked to have seen all of them be unique in their own way, or at least these doubles have slightly different positioned arms or positioned legs, or just different weapon options or helmets even. Anyway, these are the models individually. So this is the librarian. Oh, get my focusing right. This is the captain. I like the servo skull. That's pretty cool. This guy, this Eliminator, and this lieutenant. Really cool lieutenant. This suppressor. This guy as well. This chap throwing a grenade is pretty awesome. I like the pin that's, you know, and the smoke. Really, really awesome how they've done that. Then you've got the Demonkin, or the Chaos models. Now these are unique. I had a really, really good look, and I can't see any duplicates at all. I've looked at what's going on with the leather and the position of the cloths, also the feet and the leg armour, the weapons that they're carrying, but all of them look unique. I can't see any duplicates. It's really, really awesome. Then you've got this plasma gun toting guy, and this guy just takes it up to the next level with his autocannon. And you've got this champion with the plasma pistol, and you've got the possession guy as well, looking awesome. You've got the big possessed, and then you've got the huge obliterators. We'll have a look at those models in a moment. And then you've got the Venom Crawler. Taller and bigger than I think people will expect. I'm thinking kind of Skitari Doom Crawler kind of size, probably a little bit, tiny bit smaller than that. So let's have a look at these models. So that's the Master of Possession. That's the Venom Crawler. I do think that the guns are small, but they're very powerful rules wise. I like this kind of scenic base that he's on, or it's on, sorry. With these lenses, it really reminds me of the hand type creatures from Gears of War. And then the Obliterators. I really like this one. This one is got the Storm Bolter and the Plasma Cannon and the Heavy Bolter and then the kind of Melter Gun. So very, very equipped. I'm not a huge fan of both the flesh on the back. I think that's more of a Nurgle kind of thing, a Death Guard thing, the moulding of flesh with machine. And also I'm not a big fan of whatever's going on with his high heels. These horrible looking pistons. It's not needed, I don't think. He's got enough bulk and weight to hold himself, and with the claws as well, into a firing position. Don't really need these big piston things. They make it look a bit, well, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan. And yeah, this one's got it too. I like this onslaught cannon or whatever, and the heavy flamer. And yeah, look, it's got the pistons and the feet. Look, oh, big toenails on there, and it's missing a weapon on his arm as well, on his hand. That's quite strange. The possessed, I like this one with the hand and the mouth coming out of the hand and the claw. Very, very awesome looking model with the eyes and the chest plate with the teeth. Fantastic. And this champion, it's all right, I suppose. Quite a standard kind of pose for a champion of chaos. And this guy looks awesome with this auto cannon, and the one with the assault cannon or Punisher cannon looks pretty cool too. So there you go. That's all of the models in the Shadowspear. A full breakdown. I can't tell you whether that was the same amount of time as the first take, but hopefully this has gone through this time. I think it is expensive, and if you look at the price in other countries, it's even more as well. Over £100 for a box set of two forces. To me, I always thought that these things were kind of big value. It's difficult to say if they're big value because none of the models are individual. They're all brand new, in the same vein as Dark Imperium. However, Dark Imperium, £10 less, and you get that big 300-400 page hardback rulebook and the dice and the range ruler. You get the rules in here, just the mini rules, but you don't get any dice, you don't get a range ruler. You can't really play this game out of the box without purchasing other stuff. And also the monopose miniatures. Yeah, that's the same as Dark Imperium, but you're just getting a lot more in that set. I know it's difficult to draw a comparison with that set because that's a base game set, and it made its money up very, very quickly. And this one will, I think, but I think it will take longer, undoubtedly, to recoup its costs involved. I'm just happy that we've got new models. I would have liked the Primaris models to be more unique and individual, Space Marine. But the Chaos models are stunning and very individual, and I can't wait to get my hands on them. They look fantastic, especially with Harken Worldclaimer and the Chaos Lord and Chaos models in the Blackstone Fortress set, and also Abbadon. They're all going to go very, very well, and I'm looking forward to creating a kind of Black Legion army to go with my Death Guard, because there is enough differences between both of them for me to do that, much like with 1,000 Suns, I suppose. Anyway, what do you guys think about this box set? Please do put it in the comments below. Have you pre-ordered it? Are you looking forward to unboxing it next weekend? And it's got a fair few miniatures in, so it might take a while as well to get it all set up and built and painted, of course. It'd be great to hear from you, as always. Great to read your comments. A little recap, obviously, maybe next weekend Abbadon will be up for pre-order, or maybe it'll be the Vigilus 2 book. But we certainly haven't seen the last of this Vigilus campaign and the new models that they're going to be releasing alongside it. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.